he's on Fox News going like that. So it's just
that's great.
Awesome. Me and Kyle Moore, we did some trolling. We got in all the shots with our signs. Anytime we saw, so folks saw us on CNN and ABC. But
I never knew that was Poe that did that. I seen that. That was Poe?
Yeah, it was N.A. Poe.
That was funny as hell.
And we smoked down City Hall, during the demonstration because why not? Because that's what we did in Occupy Philly. And yeah, when I was caught in the middle of the crowd, I didn't know what to do. I had this really nice, expensive camera, so I just crashed money. Had to, get into character,
Nice.
and I had to pick these people off, and I got out of the crowd really quick.
Wow.
So, if you need some moves or advice on how to make your way out of a crowd, holler at your girl. I'll help you
East
out.
Coast Cannabis Coalition. I know the roller derby tips.
What's interesting to me is they don't show any of the white people rioting, because there were white people rioting too, but they don't show those.
I saw images of white people in Baltimore stealing Bud Light from a store, stealing like trashy beer. Yeah. So, and of course, all the sports riots, I got a lot of hate because I shared a picture of Penn State students rioting for Joe Paterno. And, and people were like,
can't do that.
That's racist. You're being racist.
Yo, we have
Hold on, we got weed bands in the house.
We have a microphone.
Don,
can we switch places, please, with Ed?
Yeah, come on, Ed. This is good. You can stay there.
Can he sit there? That's his seat. Thank you.
That's all right.
Just for now.
That's fine.
We'll bring you back. You gotta say something while you're on the mic, or else you're gonna lose your spot. You gotta grab it and start talking.
If you want to join the conversation and holler at us or comment, you can tune into our Facebook or our Twitter at Fully Baked Radio. We're on every Monday from 1 to 3 p.m. East Coast time, and our podcasts are available at www.fullybakedradio.com. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Vanessa Maria. I'm here with Lefty Grimes, Flip Marley, New Jersey Weed Man, Ed Cannabis King Barini, and our loyal studio guest, John Karpowicz. If you want to check us out, we are live broadcasting from The Social, which is in Trenton, New Jersey. It's a bar restaurant venue. It's open. You can come grab a drink and chill with us. We'll be here for a couple more hours.
Drop a drink, drop a deuce, whatever you want.
I also want to give a big shout out to CMMJ for helping to donate their hotspot to us that we're currently using for our podcast.
Hotspot.
Every Thursday, they're in front of the State House in downtown Trenton protesting legalization of cannabis. So, as a result, every Thursday now, Fully Baked Radio would be with CMMJ as they always have, and Sativa Cross, helping them out downtown at the State House, protest and rally. So if you're in the Trenton area, definitely stop by at the State House on West State Street, right across from the memorial where we hold all our 420 protests and rallies and demonstrations, and help us protest and raise awareness for cannabis.
That's right. Welcome, Ed. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. You're on.
I'm all right there, Vanessa, and Fully Baked, and the crowd out there listening and watching.
Ed was in Camden with us, smoking down City Hall. He didn't wait for the smoke down, though, as always.
Right. We're live. Okay, that was just a fake dying.
That's not going to be.
Yeah.
You really didn't die.
Then tell us about yesterday. You were in Trenton for a die-in arranged by
you gotta love that
Kyle.
picture.
Yeah, Kyle Moore hooked up a die-in at the City Hall. We wanted to bring, at the State House. We wanted to bring attention to the Philip White case down, especially down here, right here in New Jersey, where the dog killed a handcuffed person.
Well, actually, the police beat this man unconscious, and it was caught on video. And then another officer arrived with a canine unit, and then they sicked the dog on him. And the dog mauled his body and face. So
while the cop was on top of him, punching him,
right? And while the cop was saying things like, "Stop resisting! Stop grabbing my gun!
Don't get my gun!"
Yeah, don't get my gun. The dude is unconscious, and they know he's unconscious, and they're just beating him. He was saying things on camera just to You know, the code words. But anyway, that story, if you watch the video,
No.
it's like unbelievable. And it doesn't get as much attention as others, though. That was the idea, to try to bring some more light to it. And those people came up from Vineland.
Yeah, you guys were on NewJersey.com or something. You got coverage out of it.
Oh, got a lot of coverage out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes it just takes a couple people.
That's all it ever takes.
And the dog.
It's it was on Channel 10 last night and this morning, and both websites all have links to that original video now of him, so it's giving more people the opportunity to see that. You know, this isn't a case where did he run, did he do this, did he do that, did he assault? Is the police officers afraid for their lives? No, this guy's laying on the ground, handcuffed, and he'd already been beat down, and then they let the dog loose on him.
Yeah, so justice for Philip White, I hope it's coming. We demand a thorough investigation. You know, that's what all these protests really are about, is like demanding some kind of accountability and justice. And, you know, if you're wondering why a bunch of pot protesters, you know, marijuana activists are involved in this, it's because many of these people are stopped in the first place and shaken down to see if they have weed on them.
Exactly.
You know?
That's where most of the problems with law enforcement's conflict with the black community, especially, is the drug war. They're constantly looking for drugs. They're constantly, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a pothead or you're a professor. If you're a black man encountering a police officer, you might get stopped, searched, and frisked. You know, and not just walking. The cars is the worst. Driving while black. But it's a joke to most people, unless you're a black man.
Yeah, you know, and I think the head writer, the creator of The Wire, even went on record saying, like, if you want to help Baltimore and the drug war, you know, I think.
Exactly. Yeah,
and shout out to our homie Ray Lewis, Captain Ray Lewis.
Yep.
He's down in Baltimore. He can tell you why. And the drug war, stop arresting black and brown people and going into their communities looking to destroy their lives.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of these counters, you know, of course, we saw Freddie Gray's rap sheet. Everyone was like, this guy's a thug and a criminal. I'm like, all I see are nonviolent drug offenses.
Yep.
You know, he didn't kill anyone, didn't rape anybody.
And if they did that type of operation, seizure, and everything on suburban communities like they do on inner city communities, you'd have a different makeup of the same people getting arrested for the same crimes. Listen, you can sit out on a porch in any suburban neighborhood and smoke a joint and have a beer, and it's considered recreational. You're hanging out with your family or whatever. You do it on a inner city porch, smoking a joint, drinking a beer, and the cops roll through and they treat you like a bunch of lazy hood rats doing drugs. You know, this is a high crime area, and next thing you know, you got handcuffs on. You know, and it's the same exact behavior, just painted up in a different light.
No, it needs to end. But I think Phil's getting ready to introduce our next guest.
Yeah, do we have a caller on the line here?
Yes, we have
Okay.
the special Dr. Uma out of Massachusetts. Dr. Uma is a physician with the Uplifting Health and Wellness in Massachusetts. She's also a professor at the North Eastern Cannabis Institute, and she's also a homegrown New Jerseyan as well. She graduated from Rutgers University and was born and raised in Livingston, New Jersey. Or, well, as she will refer to as Livingstone, New Jersey.
Yes.
You know.
Welcome, Dr. Can you say your name? Dhanabalan? Is that it?
Dr. Uma.
Yes.
How are you doing, hon?
I'm good. I want to say hello and good afternoon to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to our show.
Wonderful. I've been listening to you guys. You guys have lots of issues going on there.
Not much. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
So, I kind of gave you a little introduction. How about you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. As Phil has said, I'm originally from India. I grew up in Jersey. Went to undergraduate, went to Rutgers, and went to medical school in Newark, New Jersey. I'm a family doctor by training and have been also in occupational medicine and in the cannabis world for about 5 years of learning. and I've seen about 4,000 patients plus between the ages of 18 to 96.
Wow.
I truly believe cannabis is a medicine, and I also make this statement: cannabis is not an entrance drug; it's an exit drug from pharmaceuticals and narcotics.
Amen to that.
That's right. Yeah,
Amen
we'll
to
talk
that.
to that.
You said you have 4,000 patients. Are those all cannabis patients?
I'm sorry?
You said you have 4,000 patients. Are all those medical cannabis patients?
Yes, I've seen
Wow.
recommendations for over 4,000 patients, and we have seen that this medicine is actually getting people off their narcotics, if not reducing it significantly. And, we have a major concern with overdose and opioid overdose. The United States is 5% of the world's population, and we're consuming 80% of the world's opioids.
Wow.
That's a huge concern.
Doctor, they don't teach about the endocannabinoid system in medical school. What made you decide to learn about this system in the body?
Excellent question. About 5 years ago, like I said, when I got involved in learning about it, my mom was diagnosed with what they call as idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Fancy term for we don't know what causes your lung disease. My mom never smoked, never ate red meat, exercised, and did all the correct things. And she was visiting at the time from India, and I saw a program about how they were using cannabis in Israel for patients with lung cancer, COPD, and asthma. And at first it just didn't make sense. Here I was in the world of family doc and Ahmed telling people not to smoke and putting respirators on them to protect them. And that's when I first learned about the endocannabinoid system. It still is not being taught in medical schools at all locations. They're trying to, but it's not known. This word itself is not known to most clinicians or healthcare providers.
That's shocking to me.
It is, because this system, the endocannabinoid system, is actually, we first started to learn about this in 1964 when Dr. McCullum first identified it. So we've known about this endocannabinoid system for about 25 years. And the beauty of this medicine is that we have no fatalities, zero fatalities from cannabis. And we are still not learning all the appropriate and correct information.
No.
It's a healing plant. Can you tell us a little bit more about, the dissenters in the medical community? Like, for example, in Pennsylvania, we recently had hearings for some legislation that's pending for medical cannabis. It doesn't even include flowers. It's just like oil and concentrates. But representatives from the Pennsylvania Medical Association testified on multiple occasions that no peer-reviewed research exists supporting the benefits of medical cannabis and how it should not be removed from Schedule I as a narcotic. Can you talk a little bit about, the opposition in the medical community and why they would say things like this? And it's not just in Pennsylvania. They've said this on record in Virginia, in Maryland, in Georgia, a lot of the southern states. What's happening where you're from?
I think it's an excellent question and comment, because the problem is, I just actually, believe it or not, I was at the Mass Medical Society meeting as a delegate for the last 3 days. And most clinicians, as I said, don't know about the endocannabinoid system. And what they do know is misinformation. Most clinicians don't even know that this medicine was prescribed by doctors. It was in our pharmacopoeia, which is the sort of the Webster's dictionary for doctors, until 1942. My personal thoughts are that cannabis is right now in Schedule 1, and I do not want to see it in any schedule. I think it needs to be descheduled,
Amen to that.
not rescheduled. And I'll tell you why. Cannabis is right now along the same category as heroin, LSD, and ecstasy. And those medicines kill people. When it was placed in Schedule 1 in 1970,